I personally am a bit speechless right now because apart from being an MC, I'm also a part of this organization that has done beautiful work in the past few years. So a huge round of applause for those who are here and also many of you who are not here and have been a part of all of this work. Thank you so much. When I was a kid, I heard a couplet that said, शिकवाए ज़ुल्मते शब से तो कई बेहतर था, शिकवाए ज़ुल्मते शब से तो कई बेहतर था, अपने हिस्से की कोई शम्मा जलाते जाते. And I feel humbled to be a part of an organization that is a practical demonstration of this couplet. So thank you for everything that you do, and I hope that like me, there is a sense of gratitude all around the room as well. In this spirit, I would like to request Ms. Amina Khalid to come and talk about a program called Taalluk. Thank you.
As we grow and we stretch and there are growing pains. Interconnectedness nahi rehti. We sort of forget who we are, where we started from. So ye coming together of the communities, alhamdulillah, is really beautiful. Ye Taalluk ka jo project bhi jo conceive hua tha, it was with this understanding ke mission alignment kis tarah hum rakhein as we grow and as our outreach. It means, for those who don't know Urdu, Taalluk means relationships, connectiveness, how do we interact with each other. So, ye hai kya? This is a socio-economic actually profiling exercise. So, all emotional on one side, but actually practically speaking, who are we? How do we use data? So, it was conceived in 2020 in the wake of COVID, and while at the time we were going through self-reflection and mission alignment ke questions ho rahe the, and cultures and sustainability ki baat ho rahi thi. It was designed in 2021 and rolled out at the end of that year. In 2022, we gathered the data and we started transforming it, looking at it, analyzing it. And so there's a lot of work that has happened. Objective kya hai? Sabse pehle, it is to encourage a more holistic, deeper interaction between students, the faculty, the parents, and then also at the head office level. We want to build a centralized database for socioeconomic profiling, and that data so that we can look at it and compare it across geography and over time. Kya kiya humne? We designed machine readable survey forms. There was one student data form for every registered student, and there was one family data form per family. And this was to assess primarily क्योंकि poverty scoring हमने करनी थी, profiling करनी थी. And ultimately the exercise would foster a better understanding of our beneficiaries, both on the ground, at school level, as well as at the head office level, while providing an opportunity for evidence-based program and policy design changes. So this is what we wanted to do. Kya kiya? That was the objective. So what was the information that we collected on the students? We looked at where did they come from? Kahan se aa rahe hain? What are they looking to gain from TCF? So what type of school they came from? What were the reasons for why they came? We looked at what are the perceived benefits of joining TCF. We looked at how long did it take for students to actually reach the schools. We looked at their health, any issues with regards their health. We looked at their after-school activities as well. Primary versus secondary schools के अंदर क्या फ़र्क था in their hobbies, in their study habits, and even in their mobile usage. And the information was collected again at the student level, so this allows enough information to do comparisons across gender, across geography, and then inshallah over time as well. Family profiling information हमने collect की. We looked at the household demographics. सबसे पहले कि what does the shakl क्या है? What does the family look like? We looked at literacy levels and education levels, household के finances, occupation. of household members. We looked at their household assets as well. What do they own in terms of housing, in terms of appliances, in terms of transport? Ultimately, internally, we're using this information to do an economic poverty profiling assessment. There's a poverty scoring framework. I won't get into the details today, it's quite extensive, but there's a poverty profiling framework that was developed by the World Bank, and it's used by Benazir Income Support Fund for distribution of stipends, and even for the Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund. So we adopted that model as well. Scope. This was an extensive information gathering exercise, as you can imagine. This was done actually by the teachers, the faculty, through interviews held with the students as well as the families. So it was in a very structured manner, this our information gathering team. The scope of the survey, this is now, actually it's gone up now because we're doing this round 2 for this year. Magar last year, 2022 में जब हमने June, July तक हमने कहा था, let's close this and see what the data is, and started looking at it. Over 193 surveys that we had transcribed as data, and over 123,000 family survey forms that we done. Done it all across both flagship as well as partnership schools, across all the districts in which we have schools. So the scope was quite one. I'll quickly take you through exactly process kya tha हमने जो follow किया था. There are 3 stages actually of handling the machine readable survey forms. पहले तो सारा ये, if you can see, all across the forms were being gathered, they were sorted before scanning. So scanning was the first part कि एक hard copy आती है, उसको आपने पहले से की तस्वीर खींचनी है. So we had a scanner, very high speed scanner to do that. After that, the team sat and did digitization of the forms, which meant that there was a proprietary software that we had, it's called Abby. Uske andar the scanned image was digitally read by that software and then transcribed into data. Every form was then manually actually verified by an officer who would see the scanned image. The software would point out, is this reading it correctly? And then if any changes needed to be done, the officer would do it at that time. And in doing that, the software was building up an intelligence of vocabulary, and so the speed of the verification would pick up as and when the forms were being scanned. Then we moved, once the forms were scanned, the data was read digitally, it had to be pushed into our database. So uske liye then we had the extensive, where is Naveed Sahab? Naveed Yunus is here somewhere. And he absolutely instrumental, could not have done it without him, without his support. He is amazing, he is really amazing. So he worked with our team to help to get clean data. और हमने dashboards बनाए, and Hussein is here somewhere as well. He's from Indus Valley. He's nothing to do with data, but his own passion, he taught himself how to make dashboards. It's just quite amazing. So the dashboards we created to be able to view the data. Mariam, who's another member of my team, वो उन्होंने सारे जो made sure all the communication was done well. I'll take you through actually the findings themselves, which we sat with the brand and communications team to do this. We designed dashboards as well for the school principals on the ground so that they can also view the data that has been collected on their mobile apps, school management app जो होता है. And all of this was understanding that the quality of information will improve if we can give back to the respondent what is the information that was collected on them. So there's a lot of effort that went on to this. So the next part of the presentation is going to be actually what did we collect. So pehli cheez, benefits of studying at TCF schools. This was lateral admission, so kids who are not मतलब कि शुरू से KGS कहनी शुरू से schools में TCF में नहीं पढ़ते हैं, they transferred from schools like KGS. So 56% came from private schools, and the reason they came was unaffordability, 33%, and because 82% were paying more than 300 rupees per child. And in terms of 37% came from government schools, with main reason was lack of higher schooling. We asked all students, so this was only lateral admission, so we asked all students, what do you see at TCF? And overwhelmingly, they said quality education environment. ये उर्दू के अंदर एक मतलब कि the way it was written was कि overall माहौल कैसा है. So while we design the teachers and the curriculum, all of that structure, what they see at the end is just the product itself, is एक चलता हुआ एक निज़ाम है. This is what we've managed to deliver, and that's what the families are coming for. There is a system that works. And at the secondary level, they said it's for further education. They're looking for that. We asked कि आपके siblings वगैरह what schools did they get? So 50% of TCF students, उनके siblings जो हैं TCF school में ही पढ़ते हैं. Students commute to school. 70% walk to school. So we had different options as to how do you travel. And 70% reach school within 15 minutes. And तकरीबन 15% जो है वो अपने parents के साथ चल के आते हैं. Majority come with their siblings. So that was another thing, having a sibling in school makes it easier to access education. And while 20% walk alone. The number of responses you can see are all posted over here. Again, travel time, majority is within, this is both walk as well as ride. Majority is within less than 30 minutes के अंदर school पहुंच जाते हैं. Student के health concerns we asked. Again, this is observations that the teachers put forward. About 7% of the primary students were identified as having some kind of a health concern, and 18% at the secondary level. वो क्या health concern है? At the primary level, undernourishment. That the kids are not getting adequate nutrition. At the secondary level, the primary health concern was weak eyesight. It's studying too hard. Yeah. We asked them about breakfast habits, and nashta jo hai, I haven't got it exactly, but tea, chai is the most prevalent, followed by roti and salan as to what they have for breakfast. These are the after-school activities ke baare mein bhi asked them. At the primary level, studying is as important as games, sports, khelna. This is not school, this is after school. Secondary students, we see again there's a much more focus of studying. We look at again the study habits then in more detail, and at the primary level 31% of the students they take tuition. There's a huge culture of trying to get ahead through learning. There is an awareness. It's not demand, it's more of a supply problem that we've got. At the secondary level, there's much more self-study because less availability of other in their community to be able to assist them. We asked them part of their after-school activities, who works and what do you work? So roughly, well, not roughly, but class 6 ke about 14% bachche, they work, and it increases as you go to the higher grades. By class 10, 24% of the students said that they are working. What are they doing? 42% say ke they are working to assist their parents. That's what they're doing. Said, we went and asked them, Acha ji, if you're working, does it affect your studies? Oh no, sorry, so this is what is the salary spent on? So whatever if they're earning, they are using that money again for education. It comes back to the same theme that there's a lot of importance that they give towards education. And then does the working affect your studies? So it affects boys more than it affects girls in terms of irregular attendance and incomplete homework. We asked them about their mobile usage patterns. And we saw primary students, 6% said that there's some kind of a mobile usage. It's higher at the secondary level, 16%. What do they do? Primary ke andar, they like games and entertainment. While for secondary level, there's a higher focus on online learning. We drilled down deeper in terms of secondary, looking at boys and girls, and there is a clear difference between boys having more games and entertainment, social media, versus girls are more in terms of online learning. We asked them about household demographics. So the average family size is about 6 people, and 95% of the parents are living together. This is the distribution of the household members. So again, the median is here, between 5 to 7 actually household members. So 20% of the respondents said that they have 6 people, 19% has 5, so about 5 to 7% really is where we're lying at. The distribution age-wise, they are younger kids, about 60%, I mean, in terms of construction. So about 3 to 4 kids hote hain in a family. We asked how many are out of school within the certain age bracket, 5 to 13 years. So 34% of the households have at least one out of school child in the age of bracket of 5 to 13 years. Not sure if you can see, yeah. Spoken languages. Punjabi is spoken more than Urdu. 29% Punjabi and about 28% Urdu. That's the spoken languages, followed by Sindhi, then there's Pashto, Saraiki, Balochi, Hindko. Not surprisingly actually, but this is the way the country is also structured, is that 97% of our families are actually Muslim. Family education levels. This for me personally was really useful information because we run an adult literacy program and we wanted to know what the illiteracy levels were for our families. And we've actually used this data, when we do the CDU presentation later on, we've actually used this data to try and map the locations which we need to do our outreach for our literacy program. So we asked, so fathers, 30% are not literate, mothers 45% are not literate. And then 18-year-old brothers and 18-year-old sisters of TCF students, 13% brothers are not literate, 15% sisters are not literate. And so what we're seeing is that over the generations there is a declining gender gap, which is good news. But when we looked at does that translate into occupation, we saw that the brothers jo hai, inki, sorry, let me just move this back. They have a higher unemployment rate as compared to the fathers. So there's relatively higher unemployment amongst younger men, and amongst women, 18 plus, there's restrictions for them to be working. So they're not allowed to work. Okay, I'll move quickly. Household finances, we asked about, the average income is about 18,000 rupees ke kareeb hai. We asked about the top household expenses. So food is the highest, followed by utilities ki payments, and then third, education expenses are factor highly. And again, it reflects on the importance that families give to education. 70% of the families, they spend more than 10,000 rupees on, 1,000 rupees on education per month. When we asked about TCF's ke school ke expenses, how do the families feel about that? 40% say they do not have difficulty in meeting them, but 26% say they have school fee payments and school issue. Decision makers with regards to, especially with regards to financial expenses, are predominantly the fathers, as what they declare. We asked about housing conditions. So 73% do have self-owned housing. And this is, again, part of a trend in the country, that self-housing is concrete housing hai, and the size is between 40 to 160 square yards. 19% rent their housing. Drinking water source, majority take tap water, it's about 50%, followed by tanker. Washroom type, majority are with flush, 61%, but then 31% are without flush. Sorry, it's coming. Okay, household assets. So 81% said that they do own some kind of an appliance. And sabse zyada jo hai was interesting. I was very happy actually. For the women, washing machine thi, followed by sewing machine. Okay, this is what they save up for the first asset that they would like to buy, something that makes sense. Labor efficiency. Then there is the television, and then there is a refrigerator. Transport ki ownership. So 63%, I think it says, 63% they said that they do own some kind of a transport, and it is motorcycles. So this, again, this juxtaposed with the economic information that we collected and profiling jo humne kiya hai, this is a community that is transitioning out of, through poverty. In terms of tech device ownership, majority said that they do own some kind of a tech device, and it is mobiles. 53% they have mobiles without internet versus 47% have mobiles with internet. We asked them about livestock, and so 33% only have said that they own livestock, of which about 41% have said it's actually cows and buffaloes. That's the, again, community, it's more productive, doodh ki wajah se, and also for agriculture. Agri-land, 7% only own land, and it is less than a quarter of an acre. We asked about positive aspects that the families feel about their communities, and it's really heartening. Women's rights and social harmony, they feel that that is what is really good about their community. And these are, again, TCF families. But challenging aspects are poverty and poor infrastructure. That needs to be worked. And again, this comes back to unemployment as well, and poverty and improving. So just wanted to quickly introduce our team. They've been amazing. Mariam and Hussein. Naveen is just had a baby, so she's at home. And Abdul Wahid, who was doing the data, managing the data team. So these guys have been amazing. Thank you.